Hello and welcome back to Unstuck and Friggin' Fabulous, the podcast for ambitious women ready to ditch doubt, get out of their own way, and create a life that feels bold, beautiful, and fully aligned. I am your host, Irene Lidvall, confidence and mindset coach. And this is episode 68, I think. And today, my beautiful, we are going to talk about something that is really wonderful. We are going to talk about love, losing yourself and knowing when it's wrong. And it's the beautiful kind of love we are going to talk about, the intoxicating kind and the painful kind. The kind that cracks you open and sometimes breaks you. And I want to talk about something we don't discuss enough. The danger of giving too much in a relationship, giving too much of yourself, of loving so hard that somewhere along the way you just disappear. I know this conversation intimately. How do you think I know that? Because I have lived it. And maybe you have too. Maybe you loved someone deeply. Maybe you saw their potential. Maybe you gave chances after chances after chances. You stayed patient. You stayed understanding. And most of all, you stayed loyal to the relationship. You started making excuses for behavior you knew was not okay. And you told yourself, oh, maybe he's stressed. He had a hard childhood. He doesn't know how to communicate. But you convinced yourself that he loved you. And he just struggled to show it. And maybe some of that was true. But here's what also might be true. That you slowly abandoned yourself in a relationship where you give too much. And that is where the real heartbreak begins. Not when you split up, not when he disappoints you. The deepest heartbreaks happens when you leave you. Because that's the part many women miss, unfortunately. We think heartbreak is about losing someone else. Sometimes the real grief is realizing how much of yourself you gave away trying to keep love. And I want to say something that may sting a little. Love should cost you effort. It should not cost you your self-respect. Love should cost you effort, yes. It should not cost you your self-respect. Because love requires work, compromises, patience, and grace. But if loving someone requires constant self-betrayal, that is not healthy love, my darling. That is survival. And survival is exhausting, walking on eggshells, putting yourself second. Your needs are not met. I've seen so many incredible women become smaller and smaller in relationships. They become quieter, more anxious, more careful. They overthink every text, every tone, every silence. And they become masters in managed moods. They try harder and they give more. More understanding, more patience, more forgiveness, more emotional labor. Until one day they wake up and think, who am I? Where did I go? How did I get here? And if that's you, my darling, I really want you to hear me. There is no shame in loving deeply. Your softness is not weakness. Your loyalty is not weakness. Your capacity to love is beautiful. But when that love is given without boundaries, it does become really dangerous. Because women who give too much often attract people who are happy to take too much. So let's talk about why. Why do we overgive? For many of us, it started very young. Maybe you learned love through pleasing. Maybe being needed made you feel valuable. Maybe you became the fixer, the helper, the peacemaker, and the people pleaser. Maybe love felt conditional for you. Maybe you have learned that to be loved, I must be useful. To be safe, I must keep everyone happy. So as adults, we overfunction. We rescue, we mother, we tolerate, we carry. And sometimes we confuse being needed with being loved. But those are not the same thing. Being needed feels powerful. Being loved feels safe. Two very different things. The wrong person will love you how much you give. It's conditional. But the right person will care how much it costs you. That right there, that matters. Because a healthy man notices when you are carrying too much. He doesn't sit back and watch you drown while calling it love. Now let's talk about how to recognize if he's right for you or wrong for you. Because chemistry alone means nothing. Attraction means nothing. And I say this because it doesn't. Yes, it is wonderful with the butterflies in your stomach and you act like rabbits for 2-3 years and then it fizzles out. And what is left after that is what really matters. I'm saying it, intensity means nothing, really. But it's fun. I agree. Who doesn't like that intensity? And just because it feels powerful doesn't mean it's healthy. Sometimes chaos feels like chemistry, especially if your nervous system is used to instability. The wrong man often feels exciting in the beginning, magnetic, intense, passionate. The highs are highs, but the lows exhausting. And you feel confused, anxious, uncertain. You never know where you stand. And confusion is information, my dear. Let me say that again. Confusion is information. The right relationship should not have you constantly decoding mixed signals. No, no, no. Now, does that mean relationships are always easy? No, I didn't say that. But healthy love feels steady, safe, clear. The right man doesn't make you chase basic respects. You don't have to ask for it. You don't need to beg for communication. You don't need to beg for consistency. And you don't need to beg to feel chosen. A man, a good man, he brings peace to the relationship, not constant emotional roller coasters and chaos. Here are some signs he may be wrong for you. If you feel anxious more than secure, and you constantly justify his behavior to friends or family, you feel emotionally lonely, even in the relationship. Your needs feel inconvenient. You shrink yourself to avoid conflict, and you stop trusting yourself. Your nervous system is always activated. And here's the big one, my dear. You keep falling in love with his potential, not who he actually is. And isn't there a song called Don't Fall in Love with a Dreamer? I don't know if it's you who are the dreamer, if you see his potentials, or if he's the dreamer. Big difference. But that one does get us. We don't date who is in front of us. We date the future version we hope they will become. Danger zone, danger zone. And we hope, and we hope, and we hope. And hope can keep women stuck for years. I'm saying years. Potential is dangerous when it keeps you accepting reality you do not want. You believe patterns, not promises. The right man, he may not feel dramatic, because healthy love often feels unfamiliar to women used to chaos. The right man is emotionally available, and there are so many out there that are not emotionally available, or reliable, or respectful, kind. The real man for you, he takes responsibility, he communicates, he makes effort. And this, my darling, is important. You feel more like yourself with him, not less. You feel expanded, not diminished. You feel calmer, not crazier. You don't lose your voice. You become more you. That is healthy love. And I want to speak to the women listening now who are scared of choosing wrong again. And I get it. After heartbreak, many women build walls because they tell themselves, I never trust again. I never open up again, because the heartbreak is so severe. And they're afraid. They're really afraid to get hurt again. But you know what? The healing isn't becoming closed. Healing is becoming wiser, stronger, more discerning, more rooted in yourself. You don't need to fear love. You need to trust yourself. And that changes everything. Because when you trust yourself, you stop ignoring red flags. You stop rationalizing bad behavior. You stop abandoning your standards. And you stop bargaining with your worth. And you start asking better questions. Not, you don't say, oh, does he like me? But instead, do I like who I become around him? And you don't say, how do I make this work? But instead, you ask yourself, is this healthy for me? You don't say, can I help him heal? No. But you say, is he taking responsibility for his own growth? It's a game changer. Because love after 40, 50, 60 and beyond gets to be different. And why is that? Because we are more mature and we are hopefully wiser, clearer, healthier, right? Hopefully. Less driven by fantasy and more driven by truth. And truth does matter a lot, because truth will set you free, even if it hurts, especially when it hurts. I know some of you are grieving, not just relationship, but years. Absolutely. You feel that you wasted years of your life, and the years that you gave, the years you waited, the years you hoped. And I want to say this gently to you. Please stop calling those years wasted. They taught you something. They shaped you into the one you are today. They revealed you. And maybe that brings me to the line I want to leave with you today. Every tear I cried built the strength inside. I love that. Because you know what? It is true. Every heartbreak taught you something. Every disappointment sharpened your wisdom. Every tear strengthened your boundaries. Every painful lesson brought you closer to yourself, because you are not broken, because you love too deeply. You are much wiser now, stronger now, clearer. And maybe love isn't asking you to become harder. Maybe love is asking you to become truer, true to yourself, true to your needs, true to your standards. The most powerful love story you will ever have is the one you built with yourself. Because when you stop abandoning yourself, everything changes. The people you choose changes. And what you tolerate changes. And what you accept changes. And what you desire changes. And suddenly, you stop chasing. You stop proving. You stop overgiving. Because you finally understand this. Love is not something you earn by sacrificing yourself. Real life meets you, respects you, sees you, chooses you, and supports the woman you are becoming. My beautiful girl, if you are in a season of love, confusion, heartbreak, or healing, I want you to ask yourself one honest question. Is this relationship helping me become more of who I truly am, or less? Now sit with that, because your answer may tell you everything, and it might not be what you want, but it will be the truth. So thank you for being with me here. And if this episode spoke to you, share it with another woman who needs this reminder. You do not need to lose yourself to be loved. Remember that. You never did, and you never will. Until next time, stay brave, stay honest, and stay unstuck. And have a wonderful weekend. And don't forget to hit like and share. Bye for now.